Good morning, everyone. Now today is Patanjali Yoga Sutra, excerpts 1.2, the chapter first, Samadhipada. And it is called Yogasya Chittavritti Nirodha. The meaning is, yoga is cessation of the distractions of mind. In ancient times, study of Shastra was done under guru-pupil tradition. Prior to study of Shastras, the pupil was taught fundamental education so that he could very well understand the subject. The learning happened through a dialogue between the guru and the pupil, where a pupil would have queries and the guru would answer those queries as and when required, and a balance would be maintained throughout the learning process. On studying the first sutra of Yoga Darshan, Atha Yoga Anushashanam, one wants to know what is yoga. The sentence "Now let us begin the discipline of yoga" gives rise to the query, what is yoga? Maharishi Patanjali defines yoga as a stilling the fluctuations of mind. This is complete, brief and meaningful definition. To understand yoga in entirety, one must know what is mind, vritti and niruddha, the original and the actual meaning of yoga cannot be understood without understanding this. Let us first know what is mind. In simple words, mind refers to the land where our thoughts are born, formed, and remain firm as sacraments. The mind is having a land, is having a platform, which is of 5 types. The first is chipt, means restless state. The other one is vikshipt, that is distracted state. Third one is mood, confused state. Fourth one is ekagra, one-pointed state. And the last is niruddha, restrained state. So these are the 5 platforms of mind, the 5 lands of mind. It is important to note that here yoga is possible only in one-mindedness and restrained state of mind. Now let us understand fluctuations of mind. Vritti is used as plural instead of singular because fluctuation is not one but many. Since Maharishi Patanjali has talked about fluctuations in the following sutras, so at this point it is enough to realize that waves of ideas growing inside us or the activities of the mind are fluctuations which are divided into 5 categories. Now come the last and important part, which is niruddha, means without proper understanding of niruddha, restriction, yoga cannot be understood. Prefixes and suffixes are important in Sanskrit because when they are added before a word, or after a word, they forcefully changed its meaning completely. Actually, here, purpose is to change the meaning. There are 22 prefixes in Sanskrit, and if all 22 are added before the same word, then the same word will have different meanings. Maharishi Patanjali was an accomplished grammarian, also alongside being the author of Yoga Darshan. If he has added ni prefix before rud, metal, then it is not without any reason, and certainly not in context to yoga. When on one hand, the most difficult word is being defined, then an ordinary meaning prefix cannot be used. The literal meaning of niruddha given by Mani is to stop. Yoga is stopping the fluctuations of mind. If you are short of efforts to completely stop the fluctuations of mind, then yoga has not happened. And the definition will remain incomplete. Yoga happens in a situation where mind stops fluctuating on its own. Here, it is important to understand that yoga happens only when the fluctuations stop completely. But that cannot happen without putting in efforts. It is difficult to understand unless you practically enter yoga subject. And until your efforts become normal, then gradually it brings mind to a condition where it stops fluctuating on its own. Then, without realizing efforts, free from arrogance and sense of duty, the practitioner of yoga reaches the stage of controlling mind. This stage is called Yoga by Maharishi Patanjali. So, this was the 1.2 of Samadhipada chapter. The next, if we come, is the 1.3. Tadadrashta Swarupe Avasthanam means after the discussion on the form of yoga by Maharishi Patanjali, there is a natural inquisitiveness among the disciples regarding the behavioral changes that come about in a man after restraining the deflections of the mind and in the absence of any worldly distractions. In what disposition does a yogic person get distinguished? Though the medium of this sutra, Maharishi Patanjali says, then the seer self gets established in his self-pristine form. Tada drishta sarupe avasthanam. उस समय दृष्टा की अपने ही रूप में अर्थात चेतन मात्र में स्थिति हो जाती है अवस्थानम. Tada means at that time, drashta means the seer, avasthanam means rest, remaining, sarup means in his own nature. Good morning, everyone. Now today is Patanjali Yoga Sutra Excerpts 1.2, the chapter first, Samadhipada.